Hi, Sangram. Good to see you. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Isaiah?
Very well. As you know, we're about to open up enrollment into the association again soon. We like to talk to PhDs like you when we do, because you joined the association and transitioned successfully into industry. So, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, maybe you could just start by introducing yourself and the industry position and career and company that you're with now.
Sure. So, my name is Sangram Raut. Currently, I'm working at Raut Pharmaceuticals. It's based in Plano, Texas. I'm working as an analyst in product development department. So, before this, I was working as a research faculty at an institution where I got my PhD,
Mm,
and that is the University of North Texas Health Science Center in Fort Worth, also in Texas.
excellent. Well, congrats on the transition. Like I said, very exciting. You're successful now. You've made the jump. You got hired, but I want to rewind to before you got hired, before you even joined the association, and talk a little bit about the challenges you had. We like to think of those challenges in two types. There's the technical challenges, like the resume, LinkedIn, but also the mindset challenges, dealing with rejection, not knowing where to start. Can you talk a little bit about the challenges that you had?
Sure. So just before joining the CSA, which was like about 3 years ago, uh, I was applying to a lot of online job postings. Uh, but those all ended up in a black box. I think I never heard anything back from those.
Yeah.
Uh, so that's I think, a major disappointment that every PhD feels whenever they submit online applications without knowing or contacting any referring a person who is insider in the
Yes.
company, right? So that was one. Second, I wasn't sure what kind of positions I was going to work for. Uh,
Mm,
and that's again probably common to many PhDs. So that was one second issue, and then third issue was I didn't know where to start,
mm,
uh, because uh, one of the barriers I had was my language skills when I came to this country. But over the years, I worked on it, and it improved over the years. So because
mm,
my schooling was in my mother tongue when I
mm.
was back in India, so that was the trouble I was having when I came to this country initially. But now I think I've gotten pretty good at it, so that
Yeah,
helps everywhere, I'm sure.
definitely.
Um, so those were the initially challenges.
Yeah.
But and then I joined CSA after 3 years ago, and immediately after joining the CSA, there was a lowest point in my life, actually,
Really? What
in
happened?
terms of everything, my
Okay.
job and the professional and the personal lives and everything.
Mm,
But since I started going through the modules and the dashboard, webinars, and the transition plan, started working on networking and everything, slowly things became easier and easier over the period of time. So retrospectively, it was like a best decision that one of the best decisions I took of joining this association.
No, that's great, and I'm glad you were able to come through that difficult time. Do you remember right after joining, was there any of the materials in particular that really helped you early on, or that gave you an early aha moment?
Sure. So there are multiple things that CSA does and which are helpful to new associates or anyone who is also transition already, because I know people who have had their second or third transition, right?
Hmm.
And they still keep benefiting from the CSA. So one of the first thing was the gold standard resume template, I think,
Yeah.
because what we were used to writing my 11-page CV.
Yes.
So that was a very first thing that stands out. And then all the techniques, the interview techniques, the document where it shows you different positions that are available to PhDs
Hmm.
outside the academia. I didn't know about many of those positions until I read that document.
Wow.
Uh, after interviewing techniques, the negotiation part, also the negotiation techniques, a lot of those psychology aspects of the negotiation and the interview techniques, those were unknown to me also.
Hmm.
So those those resources helped a lot to me, and I'm sure it'll help anyone who decides to join the association.
No, well said. I appreciate that. And you talked a little bit about understanding where to start in your job search, and you alluded to the idea of a network. I wanted to ask you about the private community in the association. There's a private, the private community, the
Right.
group, the pre-made job referral network is really what is the other aspect of the program that helps a lot of people get hired. Can you talk a little bit about this private community? How
Sure.
responsive was it? How helpful was it? What did it mean to you?
So one thing about this community, or everybody who's in this community, is they're really motivated, and that's the probably first reason they joined CSA, because they want to get out of the situation they are in, or out of the academia, right?
Yeah.
And that helps everybody because they're willing to help you at every point or every step of your career, I guess. At least the transition that you're trying to transition from your academic life to an industry life. They are respectful of your needs and situations. I've seen several associates sharing their stories, which you normally don't share with outside people, right? And that only happens only when you trust that community, right? So it's like a family you didn't know you had existed. So before joining the association, because you don't share those stories unless you know people, right? You don't trust people.
Yeah.
So I think that's a positive aspect of that private group.
Thanks for mentioning that. And yeah, I agree. I think a lot of people don't understand the value of having solution-focused support, where people are giving you the answers and they're motivated. And it's a PhD community, so everybody thrives on questions and answers, and they really help hold each other accountable. Last question I wanted to ask you is: did you have any reservations before joining? And if so, how were they alleviated after you joined?
In my case, I do not think I had any reservations, because I think I was reading several of your blog articles. I had signed up for your newsletter. So reading that and looking at everything, what you were doing at that time, I felt like definitely Isaiah knows more than anyone else. I know about the industry and the industry transition. So spending that money was going to give me like exponential return on my investment. So I was like, there is no harm in investing this money. I'm sure Isaiah and CSA deserves more than that money back. So
thank you. Well, thank you very much, Sangram. Congratulations on your success. A very, very high demand position at a great company in big pharma. Well done.
Yes.
And we look forward to watching your continued career success. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, Isaiah. Thank you very much.